Hi guys, I am back with another helpful video. What I'm hoping will be helpful for you guys that maybe are, taking the bar exam for the first time, or maybe you're taking it for a second, third, or fourth time. But either way, I wanted to kind of give you what I did in a day, essentially like scheduling everything, kind of how I work through my days. And, maybe some of these things you guys already do, maybe some of them you don't. Maybe you're looking for a way to kind of mix up your schedule a little bit. Either way, I'm not saying that this is going to work for everyone, but this is essentially what worked for me. And so I took down a few notes on kind of what I wanted to talk about, but I do get scatterbrained sometimes and I do get off task. So I apologize if I kind of ramble a little bit, but I promise, just stick through the whole video with me and you will hopefully get some useful tips as far as scheduling your day on the days leading up to the bar exam. So, the first thing, obviously, all of us do in the morning is wake up. So, whenever I woke up, the time that I woke up would essentially depend on working out. So, I don't know about everyone else. Obviously, everyone has, a different workout schedule, but one thing I always recommend doing during the bar exam prep period is to work out or to do some sort of exercise, to get out and go walk or anything that gets kind of like your body going. But I wouldn't work out every morning. Obviously, now that I am, employed full time, I do tend to work out more in the mornings just because I like getting it done. However, me personally, whenever I work out in the morning, sometimes I end up super tired and, academically, like my brain doesn't really recover. So while I'm super awake from working out, I also don't have that concentration to kind of sit down and study like right in the morning. Like I tend to, work out in the morning and then I'll start cleaning the house or I'll start doing, so it depends. So if I'm not working out in the morning, I obviously would break up the day, and work out in the afternoon. I would always at least try to get it in once a day, depending how sore I am. So when on days that I would work out in the morning, I would wake up probably around 6:30. I would have my coffee and then I would go to the gym for about an hour, hour and a half, depending upon what I was working out that day. And then on days that I would work out in the afternoon, I would get my studying done in the morning. I would wake up probably around 6:37. Again, have my coffee, kind of allow myself to wake up a little bit, get with the program. Maybe I would make myself a light breakfast on days that I wasn't, working out right away. And then, of course, on days that I would work out at night instead of in the morning or the afternoon, I would always make sure that I penciled in my workouts. So my gym, they used to, since COVID, things have changed, unfortunately. But they would do, multiple classes like throughout the week. So I knew which days had which classes that I wanted to attend at night. So I would make sure I kind of like penciled that in. And I really wish that I could find my original calendar that I had. That way I could show you guys. But I would mark, those classes like in my schedule. So I knew which days I was working out at night, which days I was working out in the morning, and that really helped. Especially having like a good calendar really helps. Definitely, even though I know that a lot of programs, like I took Kaplan, and I know that they obviously, schedule out everything for you, but it always helped for me to have my own personal calendar. That way I could, put down any sort of, social events that I was going to. And I know what you guys are thinking, social events, I don't have time for social events. But seriously, you got to make time for yourself throughout this whole process. See, I told you I was going to get off on a tangent. You have to make time for yourself during this whole process. If you focus all your time and energy on this test, it will drive you insane. You have to have a good balance for that. So back to my original point, working out, make sure you at least do that once a day if you can, even if it's just a short little walk outside, just to get a breath of fresh air and to kind of, give yourself a break. And I think that, a little bit goes a long way. So that's one thing that I always recommend doing. And then I recommend, obviously, having a breakfast, like some sort of breakfast, like whether it's a protein bar, whether it's a protein shake. I used to juice. So on days where I was either doing like a heavy workout, or I was, working out, or I'm sorry, not working out, but working out in the like evening or whatever, I sometimes would get super tired if I had like a calorie dense breakfast. So I would juice instead of having a full-fledged breakfast, because that kind of helped me stay awake. It kept me energized, and it also was just, I don't know, I guess everyone's different. Like I know some people don't really like the juice, but I know for me it helped to kind of energize me, keep me awake. So I would always have my juice or my smoothie, and then I would have my coffee like while I was kind of sitting and like watching my lectures. I find that it was a good kind of like thing to do, like whenever I was just rewatching any sort of lectures, or I know with Kaplan we had the outlines where you could listen to the lectures and then kind of fill in the blanks, which I have those like right here, which I'm going to show you. So it would just be like a nice thing to do, like while I did my lectures in the morning. I would also do my heaviest stuff in the morning, because that for me, like again, for me, worked, because I think better in the morning. I think a lot more clearly. And, as the afternoon comes, I apologize for my dogs. They're probably going to start fighting in the background. But I tend to slow down the later I get into the day. So I would always do my lectures in the morning, and then I would also always do my multiple choice as much as I could, at least in the morning time. So again, back to the original point, try to have some sort of breakfast in the morning to kind of get yourself going. It's not good to necessarily like stress eat during this period of time, but make sure you're taking care of your body, make sure you're feeding yourself throughout the day. And also, like whenever you're hungry, you tend to get sorry, I had my phone cut out for whatever reason. But in the meantime, while I was doing other things, I did manage to find my planner that I was telling you guys about. So this is essentially what my planner would look like on days that I was studying, which was of course every day. So this is my Be a 10. So that started at 6 a.m. And then I had like 6 a.m. Jenny is my trainer at the gym. And then of course Saturdays even I studied. So like I had like my multiple choice that I had to do for like different subjects. And so I would just plan them out like that, do like the little boxes next to them. And I would, of course, check them off as I went through. And naturally, I scheduled in my church time too. So if you guys enjoy going to church, I would definitely recommend taking time for your spirit. I, of course, would take off Sunday just because I needed a day off. I don't know if anyone else's program. I took Kaplan, and Kaplan gave us the 1 day off a week. You could obviously use it to do other time, but me is the same I did in law school. I needed time to myself. So that day for me was always Sunday. I wouldn't really do anything. And if I did do anything, I'd probably just do like a few multiple choice and maybe review some of my outlines that day. So again, that kind of goes back to like my next point would be setting your schedule. So I know that Kaplan, I don't know if there, if I have any kind of in here, I don't think that I do. Let's see, these are super old. Oh my gosh, this is almost giving me like issues just looking back. It's just one of my binders, you guys, like with all my stuff, which you guys know that how much stuff went into it. But I know that the program, so Kaplan gave me a set schedule every day. So I would know what I was doing on what day, when I was doing my practice exams, and when I was doing my videos, when I was working through them. And so I knew exactly how to plan out my week and what would work best for me. I think that one of the strongest things you can do for yourself every day is to plan. Make sure like on the night before, maybe you write out your schedule for the next day or the week, of course, like, because I mean, you have a schedule that you can follow like with your program, but sometimes I wouldn't get to everything in one day like I wanted to. Always like kind of know your limitations, because throughout this process you're going to get tired, and it's definitely a marathon run. So if you're tired and you don't feel like you're taking in any sort of information, it might feel counterintuitive to take a break or to, pick it up the next day. But if you're not taking in any information, you're just stressing yourself out and you're wasting time. That's kind of like what it is in a nutshell. So the next thing that I would do on a day-to-day basis would be to listen to a playlist. So I found the best playlist on Spotify. So I follow Kaylin Nicholson here on YouTube. And even sometimes while I was studying, like when I would do like mindless stuff, like I would honestly like, so my binder, you guys, so this is like my outline, at least one of my outlines. This was my con law one. Well, there's obviously other subjects in here. But so as you guys can see, they give you like places for like notes and where you would fill in stuff. Like all the underlined information is kind of like what we would have to fill in ourselves. I would take in my like my little notes right here. So I would honestly have like YouTube videos playing in the background, like when I would review my outlines, just because the noise, like I would listen to the noise from the YouTube video and then I would focus better on it. But that's only because my mind likes to get easily distracted. So if I have something else that my mind can concentrate on, I can concentrate on what I'm doing in that moment. I know that makes zero sense, but people with random scatterbrains like myself know what I'm talking about. It's a lot easier to kind of hone in on it. So I would listen to Kaylin Nicholson. I would watch Kaylina. It is also, if you guys like are into fashion and all that, she's definitely a good channel to kind of listen to. She has the most calming voice, so I would have that playing in the background and I would focus, or I would listen to a good Spotify study playlist, which also helped me a lot. Andy Kong was a good study playlist for me. He's also on Spotify. I love his music. It's calm. I took the February bar, so I would have like, it's just really good like winter music. It's hard to think that, you know, it's already nearing like a year since I've taken the bar exam. It feels just like it was yesterday because I don't think that you ever really get over it. So aside from the music playlist, again, is the organization. So again, let me see if I would organize. So this is just one of my binders. And here is another one of my binders. I split up my subjects, of course. I'm trying to see if I have, was this it? No, that's not it. It probably would have helped if I had these set up for you guys. But of course, that's not, you know, me. Oh my gosh, it's just so much information. So the thing that I like about Kaplan, and seeing this actually reminds me of one of the things that I love so much. So for me, what I would do that would kind of help out as far as like organizing my binders is I would handwrite some of my outlines, and I would take all this information that was in these binders and I would super simplify them into lists like this. And then I would color code them. And sometimes just writing them helped me to like memorize them. So I would also get some of this information off of the kind of the summaries. Let me see if I can find one of those. Oh, they call them quick sheets. So they would have these that you would fill out, like for Kaplan. I can only speak for Kaplan because that's what I took. They would have these quick sheets that you could print out at the end of every lesson. So this is just more or less like the bulk of the information, and then they super simplify it here. So when it comes down to like, I don't even want to say cram sessions because I can't cram. I have to like work at it over a period of time. It's probably why I studied for the bar for like 5 months. Yeah, 5 months of this, am I right? So I studied these. I super simplified them, and then sorry, I had to turn this light on. I just realized that I never turned it back on, so I'm sorry that I got super dark on you. So this was my evidence stuff, like little tables, anything that helps, guys. Like I like tables because I like organization. They kind of help like my compartmentalize, that the word I'm looking for, I don't know, helps, you know, sort my brain out. So essentially that's kind of what I did. I would carry these binders with me everywhere. I like physical documents. Like I struggle to just stare at a computer for however many hours of the day, just because it really hurts my eyes, and I like to take these with me, and heaven forbid you lose your Wi-Fi or anything like that. Like you have these to review. So I mean, and then you should also download like the phone app, like for the Adaptabar multiple choice questions. Like whenever I would take my car in to have work done with it, or if I was like waiting in line for something or waiting for someone, I would actually do like multiple choice questions. Like even when I was sitting at the bar sometimes, like with my friends, like, and they were like in a conversation, like, because like you guys know what I'm talking about, like your mind will wander, like I shouldn't be out having fun, I should be home studying. So I would just do like a couple multiple choice questions, like, you know what I mean, in the moment. And it would make me feel like I was still working towards, you know what I mean, like the bar, even though I was, you know, out with my friends. So another thing I wanted to touch on. So Kaplan, I don't know, like, as far as like Barbary and stuff. I have a few friends that took Barbary and they, of course, passed the bar exam. They took the Michigan bar, though. So I believe the Michigan bar is actually going towards UBE, but I know that where it was still like some sort of state specific. I believe like the essays are state specific. But I really liked Kaplan. Honestly, I thought that the lectures were really easy to follow. I thought the professors that taught the lectures were super easy to follow. They weren't, I mean, obviously that amount of information can get boring at some point in time, but I mean, they weren't awful to listen to. I believe there was probably only one that I listened to that I was like, oh my gosh, this is just really hard to follow. And I can't remember which professor in which subject it was, but oh my gosh, it was mind-numbing and it was really hard to get through that portion of it, but I did nonetheless. So I mean, I really like Kaplan. I have a few friends that used it and passed, and I haven't really heard anything negative about it. I signed up super early for it, so I believe I only ended up paying about $1,500 for the class in and of itself, and I thought that it gave me more than enough tools to use. The thing that I really liked about it was that it gave you endless ability, like endless submissions. Sorry, I'm getting super excited, so I just started talking really fast. They give you endless submissions for your essays for them to grade them and send them back. So when I would do like my essay prep, like certain days I would just do like essays, submit those on certain subjects, and then I would do like X amount of multiple choice on that subject as well. I tend to prefer the Adaptabar multiple choice over the Kaplan multiple choice sections that they had set up. I don't know what it was. I just felt like the Adaptabar ones like were more like the bar exam in my opinion. So if you're taking a UBE bar exam, I would definitely suggest, you know, and just personal, you know, preference, I preferred the Adaptabar over the Kaplan multiple choice. They were definitely more like the ones on the bar exam. So, I mean, that's just me, my interpretation of it. And also contact your school and see if they have any practice UBE or practice like common law, whatever, multiple choice for you. I know that my school was kind enough to send me a couple packets of at least like 200 multiple choice, and I did all of them. You can never do enough. I think I did over 2,000, if not more, multiple choice questions by the time I took the bar exam, and honestly, I could have just kept doing them. It helped to reinforce that information in my mind. And even if you're watching this video and you're in law school, I would even start practicing then, because the quicker you can learn, they can only ask a certain question so many different ways. So the more you familiarize yourself with these questions, the sooner you can get your hands on Adaptabar. Even if you haven't taken the subjects yet, I think that it can only help you. So again, I told you I was going to get off on these tangents. So next, what you want to do, especially like in your day of scheduling, I know I haven't done very good on staying on task of the day, like scheduling, whatever, but make sure you're eating dinner. I know for me, actually, I would procrastinate and do so many different things aside from studying, just because I would get so sick of studying, I would let myself wander around the house sometimes. But I actually would make sure that I stopped, and ate dinner. And then if I wanted to go back, sometimes I would eat dinner at my desk, and just kind of take multiple choice questions. And then sometimes I would get like a second wind and I would study till like 10, 11 o'clock at night. I would usually take a nap during the day though. I will say that. I am a person, I understood my limitations, and I know that not everyone can do this, and that's totally fine. Everyone's different, but I had to take a nap every day at noon. Like noon or 1 o'clock, I would have lunch and then I would take a nap. Or on days where I didn't take a nap, I would go to the gym and then come home and take a nap. My brain would get to a point where it was just too much and I needed a break, and I listened to my body. And so now the funny thing is my dogs, they think that every day around noon or 1 o'clock is nap time, because they literally did that for 5 months straight. And a part of me is a little embarrassed by that, but the other part of me thinks it's hilarious that my dogs adjusted to my bar exam schedule, and they think still every day, like at noon or 1, it is nap time. So another thing that might be like super picky, but a clean work environment. So I know that especially when you're studying for the bar at home, it's so easy to get distracted with things that aren't, the bar exam. I didn't have any children. I still don't have any children. So when I was at home studying, I didn't have children that were pulling, my attention away from my studies. But what I did have was like housework, so it's like I would see that maybe there were dishes that need to be done. I need to make my bed. I need to do all these other things. And so the less that I allowed my mind to be distracted with, the better. So I would suggest like in the morning, or whenever you get going during the day, like, while you're having your coffee, while you're waking up, while you're, doing whatever it is that you're doing, like if you could do just like a quick sweep of like at the very least, your workstation, like get everything laid out that you need, grab your coffee, grab, your water, grab whatever, and have it all laid out, because the cleaner your work environment is, the less your mind is going to wander to everything else that you have to do. I know this sounds really weird, and those type A personalities out there, you guys are totally going to understand what I'm talking about, because if I haven't done something, or if I still have things that need to be done, even right now as I'm filming this video, I'm thinking of things that I need to do in the house. Why? Because that's just how my brain works. And so knowing yourself during this process and, fixing things that are going to distract you and make like your life easier, do them. It's that simple. Picking up here, throwing in a load of laundry before you sit down to study. One of your breaks can be tossing the laundry into the dryer. Does that sound super fun? No, but I mean, it's not going to be your life forever. So just, like I said, do as much as you can to keep yourself focused and in the moment. Because let me tell you, when life is happening like outside the bar exam, like it's exhausting, because like to law students, to bar retakers, to everyone, you're in your own little bubble. Like actually the main people that you talk to in your life, like especially during the bar exam prep period, are going to be your fellow students that are also taking the bar exam, or other lawyers. Why? Because you're going to want to reach out to them, because only they understand what you're going through in that moment. You can feel like the entire world is still going on, which it is, but your world isn't. You know what I mean? Like your world is just totally like, bar prep is life, and to everyone else, you're studying. No one will ever understand the struggle. Let me tell you that. And stop trying to make everyone understand your struggle, because like I said, unless you've gone through it, you really don't understand how stressful this point in time can be. So allowing, understanding from other people, you know what I mean? Just reach out to anyone that you can. I guess in that moment, that's going to help kind of cushion that a little bit. And kind of one of the last things that I wanted to touch on too is I can get on here and talk about scheduling your day like till I'm blue in the face, but it's still going to take time to work that schedule in. So I don't know about you guys, but I love to watch like Life in the Day day in the life, day in the life. There you go. Day in the life videos, like my morning routine, my night routine, like this is my routine. And then I wonder why when I try to apply it to my own life, why it's just not working. It's because normal life to everyone isn't a YouTube video. You know, we're not all these people that can just watch a video then automatically like, yep, that's my life now. I'm going to do this. I'm going to get up. I'm going to have a smoothie for breakfast. I'm going to work out. I'm going to come home. I'm going to start studying. I'm going to take, you know, a break. Like life does not work like that. So cut yourself some slack, and then also give yourself a chance to work into a schedule that is most beneficial for you, right? And I think it's important to allow yourself time to adjust in general. So with that being said, I hope that this video wasn't too all over the place, and I hope that you guys at least got something out of it. If you can do me a huge favor, I really would love to know. Like, I've had a lot of people come visit my channel because this is the season for studying and for bar prep and everything. So I would love to know what kind of videos that you guys would love to see, and what maybe advice that you would like me to give. I've thought about maybe doing day in the life like of an attorney. I'm actually getting ready to start a new job at a DA's office, so I'm super excited for that. And that's the other thing too, guys, like there is light at the end of the tunnel. If you would have told me a year ago that I would be where I am right now and settled in as a lawyer and just life, like eventually like the bar exam becomes something fun to talk about because you went through it, you have your scars, and you achieved your goal. And I mean, this is going to be you in another year. You know what I mean? You're going to be able to say, hey, I took the bar exam, I killed it, and I became an attorney, and life is great now. This is only a small fraction of your career, but buckle down and work hard because I promise you it's totally worth it. But again, let me know what kind of things you guys would like to see. I would like to continue this series up until the February bar exam. So please let me know what you're interested in, and I would love to hear from you guys. Also, if you guys have any tips for anyone watching, leave them down below. And other than that, I hope you guys all have an amazing rest of your day, and I will talk to you soon.